Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We praise the Most High for His high holy day, the Shabbat. Okay, and we are teaching today concerning, again, we want to go a few more things concerning that term anti-Semitism. And you hear that in the news a lot, anti-Semitism. What they're saying is that if you are against or show any kind of racial hatred towards the so-called Jews, you're an anti-Semite. Okay? Which we know the scripture is saying Shem is Shem. All right? Coming from the word Shem, the root word Shem. All right? Noah's son Shem. So it's anti-Shemitic. It would be Shemitic, not Semitic. But of course, this is a term created by Esau. And the term anti-Semitic comes from Edomite known as, his name is Wilhelm Marr. So that it was coined by him in 1879 by the known as a German agitator, Wilhelm Marr, to designate the anti-Jewish campaigns underway in Central Europe at that time. Okay? So what is an anti-Semite? Someone characterized by anti-Semitism, feeling or showing hostility toward or discriminating against Jews as a culture, racial, or ethnic group. Okay, so what you hear now is some of these rappers, some of these of all people in maybe in Hollywood, in sports, in the hip hop world, they are now the Most High got them rising up and recognizing that they are Hebrew Israelites. So what they are saying now, specifically more notable Kanye West, what they are saying now is that how can I be an anti-Semite or anti-Shemitic when I am also Shemitic? Okay, coming from Noah's son Shem, I'm also Shemitic. So this is what that they are saying, right? That if you show any kind of hatred towards them, the so-called Jews, that you are anti-Semite. So now we just want to go and again in Genesis 10th chapter 21st verse and show what nations came out of Shem. All right, and who is Shemitic and who is not Shemitic, and who is Hebrew and who is not Hebrew. Come? So this is what we want to show, according to the scriptures. So when you go into Genesis 10th chapter, it's up in the 21st verse, which I know we went over that already, but we just want to go over it again, and there's some more detail to it. Okay? Genesis 10:21, we start with that, Yachanan.
The book of Genesis chapter 10, verse 21.
Bring it out.
Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, and Ashar, and Arphaxad, and Lud.
Okay, right there. So now, what you're going to understand is that Shem, okay, Shem had 5 sons. This is what you're reading right here. He had 5 sons. So there are 5 Shemitic families, okay, that come out of Shem. Okay, and what we're also going to find out that they are not all Shemitic families are Hebrew families. Come? Not all Hebrew families, but there are 5 Shemitic families. Come? That came out of Shem. And then we're going to read the other families that came out of Shem that you don't read direct. They didn't come out direct out of his bloodline. They came out of his bloodline through Abraham. Come? All right. So the first one it says is Elam. Come? Elam is one of the first sons. Elam today are the East Indians. Come? And I'm going to read something here about Elam. It says this, and you can look this up and find this out. Go in your Bible dictionary, look up Elam. All right, Google it. They're going to tell you that they are the East Indians or the Persians of today. Come. All right. So when you're reading history, when you read the word Elam in the scriptures, that's what you're talking about. All right. The modern day East Indians or Persians. So it says Elam. The Elamites appear to have started in Mesopotamia and then moved to Persia, Iran. Okay. So through history, they are the Persians. So you'll find a lot of Elamites in the area of Persia today or Iran today. Come. The one group today that has a number of apparent links to the ancient Elamites. Okay? So when you look up the word Elam, this is what it'll tell you. Are the South Indian Dravidians. Okay, come. They're called Dravidians. They represent an Elamite group that moved to the Indus River, modern-day Pakistan. Modern-day Pakistan region, and then further south to their current location in South India. So that's who the Elamites are. So the Elamites, modern-day East Indians or Persians, that's one family that came out of Shem. Then it said, the next one was, Asher. Next one is Asher. The Asherites are the modern day Assyrians. Okay? From Assyria, the modern day Assyrians. When you read in the history in the scriptures, when you read about Asher, it's talking about the Assyrians. Okay? Asher is Assyria or the Assyrians. Okay? Asher, the god of the Assyrians, okay? Assyria originally a land between Upper Tigris and Zab rivers with its capital first at Asher. Okay? Assyria and the Assyrians are frequently named Asher or Asser. So that's who Asher is, the modern day Assyrians. And these are all dark-skinned people. So that's another family that comes out of Shem. They are Shemitic also. Then you have, a Faxad. Okay, a Faxad. A Faxad is the forefather of the Chaldeans. When you read in the scriptures about the Chaldeans, a Faxad was their forefathers, the original Chaldeans. Okay, now you read about concerning the Chaldeans of Babylon when you read the scriptures, but the original Chaldeans are not Babylonians. It's because the Babylonian Empire took over the Chaldeans. Okay, but the original Chaldeans come out of Shem. They come out of Faxad. Okay, and it says the name of Faxad means stronghold of the Chaldean. That's what the name means. Faxad dwelt in Mesopotamia. Originally, Chaldeans are Shemitic. Okay, the original Chaldeans are Shemitic. Okay, not Babylonian. Because the Babylonian Empire took over the Chaldeans, and this is why you read concerning the Chaldeans from Babylon, and you would think of Babylonian, because the original Babylonians are from what Noah's son? Ham. They would be Hamitic. Okay, the Babylonians, not Shemitic. All right. It says the Chaldeans, not considered a native to Mesopotamia, they were taken over by the Babylonian Empire, which are Hamitic. Okay. Chaldeans were eventually absorbed into the Assyrian Babylonian Empire and culture. Okay. They spoke Hebrew. The original Chaldeans, which come out of a Faxad, spoke Hebrew. Okay, they're not Babylonians. Okay, the original Babylonians come out of Put, which is one of Ham's son, Put. Ethiopians of today. All right, which are Hamitic, not Shemitic. Okay, come. So that was the fact. Now, Faxad didn't necessarily become a nation. Come. All right, didn't necessarily become a nation. So the Faxad's children were just absorbed amongst the Shemitic families. Come. All right. But Elam became a nation, and Asher became a nation. Come. And then the next son is Lud. All right. The descendants today are usually following, which you read about in the Josephus, connected with various Anatolian peoples, particularly Lydia. Lud received the mountains of east of Asher, his brother. Lud's portion of land is the entire Anatolian peninsula west of the Mesopotamia. Anatolia is a region that constitutes the major part of Turkey. Okay, Lud. All right. So Shem's son Lud didn't necessarily become a nation, but this is where they would be, the area where Lud would be today. A major part of Turkey. Today also called Asia Minor. It is the Asia part of Turkey today. Lud didn't necessarily become a nation. All right. Then you have the other son, Aram, the name of Syria today. So that's who Aram is today, Syria. Aram constitutes a number of small states in present-day Syria, and north of Palestine. Aram was the Hebrew designation for the nation of Syria. The Arameans are Syrians of today. All right. So now, the 5 sons, those are the 5 sons of Shem. So when you talk about Shemitic families, those are the 5 sons of Shem. All right, But now, when you go further into the history, and when Abraham comes along the scene, the sons that come out of Abraham are from the seed of Shem also. All right, so which we're going to show that. All right, so now you're going to get, read that one more time, Genesis 10:21.
The book of Genesis 10:21. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth. The elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, and Asher, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram, and the children of Aram, Uz, and Hol, and Gether, and Mash. And Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber. And unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided.
Right, so now we come down to Eber. We come down to Eber. And so Eber would be the great-grandson of Shem. Be the great-grandson of Shem. And what was so notable about Eber? That the word Hebrew comes from the word Eber. All right? And Eber means from the past, to pass over, from beyond, cross over, or pass through. This is where, and in the Hebrew it's Ibar. All right? That's where you get the Hebrew word Eber from the Hebrew Ibar. That's where you get the word Hebrew from. And so that was what was notable about Eber, is that Eber kept the language of the original Hebrew. He kept that language. This is why we have it today, because the Mosai had it where Eber kept the language. Now, why would Eber, if everybody was speaking one language, why would Eber have to keep the Hebrew language? Why would he have to keep it? Because something happened. Because remember, it said Eber, all right, and read that part again, 25.
And unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided.
So that's why Eber would have to keep the language, because one of his sons, Peleg, during his time, the earth was divided. Why was the earth divided? Well, we're going to read. All right? The earth was divided because of the Tower of Babel. Come?
Right. Come.
All right? Because after the flood, you had Nimrod, all right, the head of Babylon, or Nineveh, okay, come, and she built the Tower of Babel so high that the angels started complaining. So that's what we're going to read in 11:1. Genesis 11:1. So when you read that, it's going to tell you the earth was divided, and the Most High divided all the nations up. But Eber kept the language of Hebrew. So go ahead, read Genesis 11:1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
Now listen now, the whole earth was of one language and one speech at this time. One language, one speech. Everybody was speaking Hebrew, right? The original Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew. Everybody's speaking that language. Come?
Come.
There were no Chinese language. There was no Aramaic. Even Aramaic wasn't even around. Come?
Come.
There were no dialects of Hebrew. There was none of that. No Arabic. None of that was around. Just one language. Come?
Come.
So this is what the Most High is showing us. Go ahead, Up.
And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar.
Now, right. Now the people, said the people were saying this, but of course their leader was who? Nimrod. Come?
Come.
Their leader was Nimrod. And when you go to Genesis, go to Genesis, what is it, 9? Is it 9? I'm sorry, Genesis 10 and 8. Genesis 10 and 8.
The book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 8. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
Okay, go to the 6th verse. Go up to the 6th verse.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan.
Okay, the sons of Ham. The Hamitic nations. Come. There's only 4 of them. And Ham means hot, or in the Hebrew, chum means hot. Come.
Come.
So, and they, of course, the land that they obtained was so-called Africa. Come.
Come.
There's only 4 nations that come out of Africa. So what you see there now, that's when the Greeks and the Romans took over and divided, okay, Africa up into all these different land regions and names and states and so forth. Come.
Come.
So you got the son of Ham, Cush. Cush today is who? The Ethiopians of today.
Somali.
Okay, right, Somalians. Okay, that's who Cush is today. And then he said Mizraim. Who's Mizraim today?
Egyptians.
The Egyptians of today. Come. Well, not the Egyptians. Well, the dark-skinned Egyptians,
Yeah.
not the ones.
Right, the dark-skinned ones.
Not the Edomite Egyptians, but the dark-skinned. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
they'd be like the Sudanese.
Yeah, Sudanese. Yeah, but it's Egypt.
Right.
Come. Mizraim is Egypt. All right. And Put. Who is Put? Libya, North Africa. Come. North Africa. Come. Okay. And of course, the Canaanites, South Africans, mostly of today. Come. Right? And you read the history about all the Canaanite nations that came out of Canaan. Come. Okay, go ahead, Up.
And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sapta, and Rama, and Sabteka. And the sons of Rama, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod.
Who did Cush beget?
Cush begat Nimrod.
What nation is Cush?
Ethiopians.
Ethiopia. So what was Nimrod?
Ethiopian.
The original Ethiopian. Come. All right. Go ahead, Up.
And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahweh.
Yeah, and when you read the history about Nimrod, he was a mighty hunter. Okay, and Nimrod He ruled the first over Babel. It's going to tell you. Over Babylon.
Con.
And this was the first, this was in the area of Mesopotamia. This was in the area of where Iraq is today.
Con.
Can they see this up?
Yeah, they can see it.
Or is it kind of far?
It is what it is. It is kind of far, yeah.
I mean,
You have to step
push
up to it.
But the first over Iraq, and here is where Iraq would be around today, around this area. You see the Euphrates River? If, maybe you can do a close-up.
Yeah, I got
But
you.
you see the Euphrates River and the Tigris River right here? This is an ancient map.
Right,
Okay.
I got it.
This is an ancient map. And as you can see, we spoke about Aram, the Syrians. You see Asher, Assyria, right here. Okay? And you got, Canaan, Philistines, Japhethite nations up here, Togarmah, Ashkenaz, come. Okay? But this is, and you got Arphaxad, you got Elam over here, the Persian. It even tells you Persia, okay, for Elam. But here's where the original state of Babylon, the original Babylon that Nimrod ruled, was in this area. This is the area of Iraq today. Come. All right, it's right here. You see the Euphrates and Tigris, and Iraq is right around here. The Euphrates and Tigris runs through Iraq today. And that's where Babylon was. That's where Nineveh was. Okay, Con? All right. All right, Con? So read that again. That would be the 8th verse.
Verse 8, and Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahweh. Wherefore, it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahweh.
Yeah, so even as Nimrod, a mighty hunter before Yahweh. And it was Nimrod that led the people to, read 11 and 1 now, real quick. Just go back to 11 and 1, Genesis 11 and 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for one stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth.
Now, who was it that led them to do this?
Nimrod.
Nimrod. Okay? So Nimrod's name means the rebel. He was one of the first type of antichrists in the earth at that time. Tom? He was totally against the Most High. He was an antichrist, anti-Hamashiach Yahushua. Come?
Yeah.
His name is the rebel. And he led the people to say, wait a minute. The Most High destroyed the earth by a flood again. It ain't going to happen on my watch. This is the way he was thinking, right? Let's build a tower high. Let's go up there with the Most High. Let's go up there to the heavens and build a tower. So if he does destroy the earth with a flood again, it ain't going to happen. Come? So bring it up to date. Always bring it up to date. So what is the elite trying to do now? They're trying to build that one tower. That's why they got the one world tower. Their spirit is the same spirit of Nimrod. One tower.
Right.
In other words, one world what?
Order.
Order.
Right.
They call it globalization. They're trying to bring back Nimrod's spirit up to bring it back today.
Right.
And try to apply the same methods he had.
Con.
They're trying to bring the world into what? One language. And of course they got the one religion. One language, one religion, one world currency system. They're trying to bring it back to what Nimrod had. And so if the Most High broke it up back then, what's he going to do today?
They shall build it.
So, right. So they're all going to be successful to a certain degree. They're all going to initiate. They're all going to initiate it and bring it in. Just like Nimrod, he initiated it. So the elite going to initiate it. It's coming. It's coming. So we got to get ready for that. So, and then go back to now Genesis 10 and 10. Read that.
The book of Genesis 10, verse 10. In the beginning of his kingdom was Babel.
Was who?
Babel.
Was who?
Babel.
Babylon. So now you see the root word of Babel. From Babylon, come. And you look up the word Babel, it means what? Confusion.
Come.
That's all it means, confusion. So you had ancient Babylon under Nimrod, and also you had the other Babylon under, as you read on in history, the other Babylon under Hammurabi, Khan. Then you had the other Babylon under, these are notable names. Of course, each one of these Babylons had different kings under them, right, Khan?
Khan.
But one of the notable names was Nimrod, Hammurabi. Of course, Nebuchadnezzar had another great Babylon, Khan. And now you have Babylon the Great, America.
Come.
Come? So you had all these different Babylons leading us up to Babylon the Great. So that's why America, its culture, its customs, and everything is after who? After what? Ancient Babylon.
That's right.
Khan.
And then, of course, you can add ancient Egypt into that, ancient Greece into that, because they took their culture from who? From ancient Babylon.
That's
too,
right. That's right.
Ancient Rome, right?
Khan.
So America is a culmination of all those different cultures, all those different empires into one. Come? Culmination. Babylon the Great. Great confusion. Okay? So that's what it is. So Nimrod was over ancient Babel. Okay? And today it's Babylon. Okay? Babylon the Great. Go ahead, I'll finish that. Let's finish it. 10.
In the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Arak, and Akkad, and Canaan, and the land of Shinar.
Go ahead.
Out of that land went forth Asher, and built Nineveh, and the city Rehoboth, and Calah, and resin between Nineveh and Calah. The same is a great city.
Right. And so this is where you have it, and we showed it on the map. Again, one more time. One more time. We showed it on the map, and he said Nineveh, right? Right here between, right here along the Euphrates, you got the Tigris right here. This area here, if we had a, modern day world map, but we don't right now. But you look on the modern day world map, you see Iraq right here, and the Euphrates runs through Iraq. You got the Tigris up here, and this is where Babylon would be. This is where Nineveh would be, and Nimrod ruled it. He ruled this area, for a long period of time. Then, because of the flood, this is where he said, where the people said, and now we're going to go back to Genesis 11, and the people said, read from the 4th verse, Genesis 11 and 4.
The book of Genesis chapter 11 verse 4. And they said, go to let us build us a city, a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth.
So that's what they said. Nimrod led them to believe that. Just like today's leaders lead the people to believe what? Concerning the New World Order, concerning globalization, concerning one currency system, one language. Today's leaders are doing the same thing, and they're in that same spirit of way Nimrod had the people led back then. Same thing going on today. Go ahead, Al.
And Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built.
So the Mosai said, wait a minute. And why did the Mosai have to come down? When it says the Mosai came down, it means the angels came down and did what? They investigated. So you don't think the angels come down today and investigate what's going on in America and the elite, what they doing, what they thinking about doing? And so, you don't think that they report back to the Mosai? And the Mosai, they're building this thing up high. This Babylon the Great, the elite, they're trying to do globalization. They're trying to do a new world order. So the angels report back. So the Mosai said to the angels, basically, wait a minute, we got to stop this. Because the angels were complaining, Right, Tom? I was going to tell you, go ahead,
And Yahweh said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do.
How about that, huh? Because you got the whole earth. Today, how many people in the earth? It's about 7 billion?
7 billion going on 8
If
billion.
you can get 7 billion people to think as one, do you know what kind of power that is?
www.
Right, huh? But let's think of the power that is.
Yes.
Right, kind of.
And so the angels were like, no, Mosai, you can't have them do this. Okay, so the same spirit back then, Nimrod led the people to believe, let's become one. And so the Mosai said, well, we got to stop this. Because then nothing would be restrained from them. Come?
Kind
Okay, so this is what they're trying to do now. Okay, go ahead, up. 7th verse. Is it 7th verse?
Go,
Yeah.
let us go down, and there confound their language.
Do what?
Confound their language.
Do what?
Confound their language.
Babel. Cause what? Confusion.
Right.
Confounded means confusion. Let us, wait a minute, I thought the Most High was all about, equality, right? Let's bring everything together. Now the Most High is a separatist, huh? Let me divide these people up.
Right.
Most High ain't about no rainbow coalition. He's like, let me divide these people up. So that we can do what? Break up the language, break up put a division amongst them. And once you put a language, a different language, amongst the people, it automatically separates you. Because if I don't know what you're talking about,
Right.
I can't come together with you.
Right.
If I know what you're talking about, you could be talking about my mother. You could be talking about something that I don't know that might be against me. Come. And so that was the Most High did. So now you have all the languages now. So the Most High is the one that gave the nations their land. And can you get Deuteronomy 32? Deuteronomy 32 and the Most High confounded their language.
Verse 8.
Yeah, 8. 32 and 8, yeah.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
Then he divided their inheritance. Go ahead.
When he separated the sons of Adam.
So who did this? Who separated the sons of Adam? The Most High, the separatists. He caused division amongst the nations. Okay, go ahead, Ak.
He separated the sons of Adam. He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Right. So there it goes. So the Most High separated the nations and then gave had his own chosen, and then from his own chosen, he gave the boundaries and the land regions where the nations are going to be, but he only separated Israel's land for them because that was his chosen. Israel's land was already chosen from the beginning. Come? It was already chosen from the beginning. All right, so then when you go back and read 9 again.
Therefore, the name of it was called Babel, because Yahweh did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did Yahweh scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
So who scattered the people? The Most High scattered the people. Okay? So if you're talking about racism, okay, you're talking about separatism, the Most High did it. Because of this Tower of Babel. And Esau, that same spirit, is trying to build a modern day Tower of Babel. Come? It's not so much that they can go up there where the Most High is at. It's the spirit that they're trying to bring back that Nimrod had. To bring the whole earth and everybody as one. This is what the elite is trying to do. But of course, they're trying to do under Satanism. Under the Luciferian doctrines and philosophy. Come. So, and it's not going to work. Because why? Just like the Most High and the angels reported back to the Most High back then, the angels are doing the same thing today. Come. And then the Most High is going to investigate and say, okay, what they trying to do? Okay, so now I got to scatter them. I got to destroy them. And so now that was ancient Babylon. Then when you go to Revelation, about Babylon the Great, Revelation 18:1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 1.
Bring it out.
And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power. And the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen.
Babylon who?
Babylon the Great is fallen.
See, mean great Babylon, meaning great confusion. Come. Great Babel. With that word Babel. Come. The word the root word Babel is in Babylon.
Con.
Confusion. The great confusion is fallen. Come. Because what? The angels came down and investigated, reported back to the Mosai, and Mosai said, I gotta break this thing up. So now you see the prophecy in Revelation that Babylon the Great, which is America, the Roman Catholic Church, their elite, they're all part of Babylon, come? And they're going to be fallen. Okay, go ahead,
Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Right, how about that, right? Right, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become a habitation of the devil. Bunch of devils here, come? Meaning the spirit of evil, the spirit of wickedness, spirit of Satan is in this place, come? All right, that's the same spirit Nimrod had, right? Because he was a rebel against the Mosai, an Antichrist, come? So the spirit of Antichrist is in America, come? Okay, go ahead, hold on, it says, to hold of every foul, what's the foul spirit? A spirit that is, has a tendency to do what? To be against the Mosai. That's a foul spirit. Okay? Foul spirit, anything that you do against the Mosai, you're not keeping his commandments, laws, and statutes, you're foul. Come? Meaning you have, that's why he said a little leaven does what?
Leaven the whole lump.
Leaven is the whole lump. That's a foul spirit. You got that leavening in you, that demon in you, or that evil spirit in you. It's foul, make your whole spirit foul. So it's a hold of every foul spirit here in America. Go ahead now.
For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
Right, so of course that's talking about America, right? For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. All nations take part in America and what America has done. And we're talking about from the elite in the Roman Catholic Church, the Jesuit order on down. They all take part. If you want to be a nation and you want to have a stable economy and so forth, you gotta take part of what the elite is talking about. The democratic process. You want to get resources from the World Bank, well, you gotta take part. Okay? And what they're talking about. It's evil, wicked setup. You gotta take part. If you don't, then they'll send the CIA into your country and destroy you. This is what they've been doing. This is what they've been practicing for years. Okay, go ahead, Op. It's the 4th verse.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues.
So that means the Most High has chosen the people. Right? Just like we read in Deuteronomy 32:8. That the Most High, when he set the bounds of the nations, but he said, Israel is the lot of mine inheritance. He set the boundaries according to the children of Israel. So that's why the Most High saying, well, I got a chosen people. So he's giving this message out to his chosen people. Come out of her. And how do you come out of Babylon the Great? You got to do it spiritually.
Right.
Okay? So we know we can't come out of her right now. We can't just get on a bunch of boats and leave right now. So what does it mean? Come mean spiritually. Come out of her. Until that day of redemption when Yahweh Shai come and deliver us out of here. but we can come out spiritually. You don't have to celebrate Thanksgiving. You don't have to celebrate Halloween and Christmas and the holidays. Okay?
Right.
You don't have to do what they do, take part in their circles and parties and, understand, in their groups and what they do. You don't have to take part in that. See, Kanye West realizes that now, right? So is Kyrie Irving. He realizes that now. He don't really need the NBA. Come. He's worth $100 million. Does he need the NBA? No. The Spirit of truth came upon the Most High, showed him the truth. He really shouldn't have went according to those 6 points and 6 items that he had to do to be received back into the league and be back into the Nets. He don't have to do that. He should have just left it alone, quit, and move forward. Come. That's what it means, come out of her, my people.
Right.
See, come. We'll see how the Spirit moves him, but still, you don't need the NBA no more. He found the truth now. Come, you don't need it no more. Come. But it goes to show you, man, just one little tweet. The Most I said, a twinkling of an eye. You got a twinkling of an eye, you put a spirit on one man, right? Let's say Kyrie Irving, one man do a tweet, didn't say nothing, just tweeted. And look what it's done, man. How it opened up like fire, the truth. And now everybody is buying that documentary, Hebrews to Negroes. Everybody's buying it. You got star athletes buying it. You got black politicians buying it. Everybody's buying it now, right?
It's the #1 rented series on Amazon.
From Amazon, right?
And they exploited it too as well, because when I watched it, it was $2.99. Now it's $11.99 to watch it.
Yeah, and you think Amazon gonna let that go?
Right.
You know, right?
And those people ain't saying nothing.
They're not saying that if anybody's anti-Shemite, it should be Amazon, right? Because they're the ones promoting it too, right? But they're gonna come to a little brother Kyrie Irving and say you an anti-Shemite for tweeting it. So show how hypocritical they are, right? Right? But still, and Kyrie's like, well, what are you talking about? All I did was tweet, and all I did was check out the documentary and then recognize my history. So what did I do wrong? I didn't hurt nobody, didn't kill nobody, didn't do nothing to nobody. And all of this, most I got moved, and that most I got people moved the masses with this one little tweet, man. Now the truth is wide open. It's been wide open. We've been out there teaching for years, right? But now the Most High moved to another level, didn't he?
Yes, he
it's
did.
by a twinkling of his eye.
I'll praise to see how much
That's the Most High.
Praise
They're doing what you call a social media lynching.
Yeah, social media lynching.
They'll take the foolish things of the world and confound the
Confound the wise. Right.
A foolish tweet.
Foolish sweet.
And boom.
And boom.
That's right.
That's one little thing, the Most High is amazing. All he did was twinkle his eye. Then he had to move his arm, just his eye out. And look what's happening.
That's that faith of a mustard seed.
Faith of a mustard seed, huh?
Anything
Now
blossom.
everybody's reading it.
Everybody's reading it.
And now everybody's like, now they got to contemplate. Wait a minute, I'm a real Hebrew? And you got some saying, well, I agree with Kyrie Irving now. I agree with him now.
Just this
But then
week, it's just sparked conversation.
Yeah.
People in the neighborhood with me, doing some practices.
Right.
Even with my son's boxing coach. When we was taking a trip to go ride, to go to the match.
It's a conversation piece.
Yeah.
It's a conversation piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Now people want to know more.
Yeah, they want to know more. Isn't that something like
What is
Right.
this about?
Right, exactly.
And your garment with fringes is the light, because now people looking at you, now they understand what those garments are.
understand what it represents now. Isn't that something?
That's right.
He's been on this.
The other cook at my job, he was talking about the zits. 80-20 is a certain amount of commandments and stuff. Asking all type of questions, man.
Yeah.
Y'all want to know. I've been wearing it for years. Now y'all want to know.
Yeah, now you want to know. Ain't that something?
Praise to the Most High. Yep.
It says the light was amongst us, and they know it not. The heathen, we walk amongst them, and they see this garment,
Yeah.
and that's following their law, statutes. They
Amen.
don't know.
You know.
Now with this thing going on, they're getting a greater understanding.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the Most High is great, man. Right? Come. So the Most High is showing us this is, we headed towards the end now. And he said this truth is going to be spread all over the world, man. All over the earth. everybody gonna know it, man. Everybody.
That's right, exactly.
From the greatest to the least to the greatest, everybody gonna know who the Hebrews are.
Exactly.
He's trying to stop it, but he can't. He can't try it.
You even got Edomites even admitting, like,
Yeah.
going hard for it, talking about their
Yeah.
and the lies.
Yeah.
Well, I did see some Eves out there still trying to save the whole nations and whatnot. A couple of videos, they out there trying to using the old John 3:16 tactic, and they still unlearned. I mean, TikTok made people in their foolishness come out and say what they really believe, but not really being educated on
old doctrine.
what's really the truth. That's old doctrine.
That's old doctrine.
Exactly.
Now, everybody, this is something.
And
It's not new to us, but I'm saying to them it's new. They say, wait a minute, I got to investigate this.
And you have our people,
and
you have our people neglecting their own salvation to save somebody else, to put somebody in their own seat of salvation.
Right.
Because they want to be that old lambskin. They don't want that new wine put up in there.
That's crazy.
So that old Christian doctrine,
That's not going to hold weight.
Which St. John 16 is in the scriptures, but they don't understand it.
Right.
So that's that Christian doctrine.
Right.
Nobody listen to that no more.
And when they speak judgment to themselves.
Yeah.
Because the scripture says that he who condemns the just and justify the wicked, they both are abominations. Right? And we're just taking back our inheritance.
That's right.
Exactly.
Commandments. They're trying to block that.
They're trying to block it up. So we read it last week and the week before about the Most High said in Joel 2:28, He's going to bring His Spirit upon all flesh.
That's right.
Okay? So, and He said all flesh. So, who's to say a black celebrity can't bring out that we're the Hebrew Israelites? The Most High can put a spirit on a man to do it. Put it on Kanye to do it. All right? And Kanye has sacrificed millions of dollars. Okay, just this other day, he's bringing out what's happening in Hollywood. How Michael Jordan's father was killed by the elite. He's bringing that out. Bill Cosby's son was killed by the elite. Dr. Dre's son was a sacrifice.
His mom was a sacrifice.
First he said, man, my mom was sacrificed by the elite. He's bringing all that out. And he's doing it knowing what they're going to do to him and what they could do to him and take his money on it. He's doing it knowing that. Okay? So the Most High can put a spirit on anybody, brother. And now he said you got Edomites. And why can't the Most High, the Edomite, bring out the truth? The Most High can do that out. To bring out the truth. Even though the Edomites, that's Esau, right? But the Most High can have them bring it out. If you want to, come.
Absolutely. Come.
Okay? The Most High can do what He want to do. Even though we've been out there for years telling our people the truth. But now it's hit a certain level now. And they can't deny it.
Well, it says when a rich man speaks, the people listen.
People listen, right. They can't deny it. And so now when you read Revelation 11 and 5.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 5. And if any man will hurt them, fire.
I say 11, I meant 18. What I forget? I meant 18 and 5. Wow. Read 4 again, then go to 5. Yeah.
Book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
So come out of her spiritually. Most High is talking to Israel here. Come out of her spiritually. See, he said, my people. So he's talking to a particular group of people, right? That's his people. And we know that's talking about Israel. Okay? His people. Come out of her plague. Because why? He's about to bring plagues upon Babylon the Great and destruction. Okay, go ahead, read the 5th verse.
For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities.
So now, it says her sins have reached unto heaven, which means what? Now, when you go back to Genesis, right? When you go back to Genesis, let's see, I think it's 6. Well, go to the 5th verse, right? Genesis 11 and 5.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 5. And Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men build.
See? So now, in Revelation 18 and 5, right? Revelation 18 and 5 says, her sins have reached unto the heavens. So the sins of ancient Babylon under Nimrod have reached where we didn't reach to? The heavens.
The heavens. Con.
The same way, come. Where the Most High said, I got to go down there and do something about it. So the same thing today, the Most High, it has reached unto the heavens with the Most High. Most High said, I remember the iniquities of Babylon the Great. I haven't forgotten. Come. Do the same thing which you read about ancient Babylon. The Most High didn't forget. He's seen that Tower of Babel. Come. And he had to come down and do something about it. So the same thing here in Revelation. Most High going to come down and do something about it. When you read the 6th verse, it tells you.
Verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double.
Fill to her double. So Babylon the Great is going to get double. That's America. Along with the Roman Catholic Church, with the elite, the Jesuit order, on down. Come, double. Understand?
I got a precept.
I got one too.
Right, you can read it.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 15. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been.
Right. So that's what's going to happen to America. Con.
Come.
It's going to be as though they had not been.
I got to land back off of that one.
Yeah, tell me where you at.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
She's not healed, right. Go on.
Forsake her, and let us go every one unto his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies.
We read Revelation, Con. It's reached unto heaven to the Most High. The angels go back and report the iniquities of Babylon, just like they did old Babylon, right? And the Most High is making a judgment now.
Right.
Okay? The Most High said, I would have healed her, but she can't. In other words, she's beyond being healed.
Right.
Even if now if Esau come out and say he apologized and repent and all that, he can't. That's not going to work.
Right.
It's not going to work.
Well, she's wounded unto death.
She's wounded unto death, right.
Con.
You know, there's a point of no return.
Right.
Understand? With the Most High. There's
Right.
a point of no return, right? No matter what you do, you cannot repent. There's nothing you can do. The Most High says she's beyond being healed now. There's no balm on which you could give her now. There's no balm, healing balm. There's no anointing, oil, whatever. Nothing's going to help Babylon the Great. America's finished. Okay? And then the scriptures tell you that there's no repentance unto Esau anyway. Come? His repentance. Most I don't care about his prayers.
Even though he carefully sowed it with tears.
He sowed it with tears. That's amazing, right? Come? That's the Most High. Okay? So now, we brought that out. So now when you go back to Genesis 14:13, so we established Shem is the progenitor of the Shemitic race. Come? Shem is the progenitor of the Shemitic race. Now, Esau says, well, you're anti-Shemitic. Is Esau Shemitic?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yep.
Esau is correct. He's Shemitic. But he can't say that we're anti-Shemitic because we're Shemitic also. And so the Most High have brought it out. He had Kanye West said, how can you say I'm anti-Shemitic? I'm Shem also. I am Shemitic too. See, but the elite know that. But the elite, they don't want everybody to know that he has stolen a nationality that doesn't belong to him. So he got to make it seem like we're anti-Shemitic. He's throwing that old racism back on us. Mm-hmm. You're a racist. Okay, well, that's a term he created too. Racism, racist, anti-Shemitic, those are all terms he created. Right? So now he's trying to throw it back on us. But Kanye West came out and said, what? I'm Shemitic just like you are. So I am not anti-Shemitic. that means I'm against myself.
Right.
Who I am. Right?
Con.
So unbelievable, that. So in finding out that there are 5 Shemitic nations that came out of Shem, okay, now, but there's going to be a couple more. These are initial ones that came out of Shem, okay, which we know, of course, Israel, okay, is the forefather, right, is the forefather, because Israel is the lot of the Most High's inheritance. Genealogy-wise, Adam is an Israelite, come. Noah is Israelite, come. Right? And of course, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the seed from Adam on down, okay? Seth, the seed of Adam on down to Noah, all Israelites, come. Now, we weren't called Israelites then, but they're all from the seed line.
Right. Con.
All right? And then, of course, all the way up to Abraham, all Israelites. Okay? So now, when you read Genesis 14, 13, now, I just want to make this point now. Remember, the reason why Eva kept the language is because the division, when the Most High confounded the languages, come, which we read in Genesis 11. All right? If you can just read Genesis 11 and 7 one more time.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 7.
Bring it out.
Go to let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech.
Right. So what did Eva do? Eva, the word Eva means from the past, or to pass over, pass through. What he did was kept the original tongue. So that's why his name is prominent. Okay, when you read about the genealogy, his name is prominent because the Hebrews get that language because Eva was able to keep the original tongue. So when the Most High confounded all the nations and gave different languages,
right,
the original Hebrew was kept. And it started with Eva. And also there was a land called Eva too. In that region or area where Eva was, it says, I'm going to read it. It says, Eva, in the genealogy of the Semites, Abraham and especially the Israelites are called descendants of Eva. Okay, so you read this, when you go look it up, you'll read about this. Eva also designates a region occupied the longest and the most continuously by the peoples that trace their descent from Shem. Come? So, Eva was also a region that was occupied. Once the Most High confounded the lands, confounded the nations, and gave them their different land regions and languages, the land that Eva occupied was occupied the longest. So that means the language that Eva was speaking remained. From Eva's lineage on down, on up till today. It remained.
That's that Paleo Hebrew.
That's that Paleo Hebrew, huh?
Con.
And it wasn't Aramaic, because I know Aramaic is a dialect, everybody said Aramaic. No. It was the Paleo Hebrew, the original tongue.
Right.
Hebrew. Come.
Lashawan
Kodash. Okay? So it says, Eva also designates a region occupied the longest and the most continuously by the peoples that trace their descent from Shem. Okay? Also, the language of Eva was kept the longest, which is, of course, Hebrew. It was kept. Because remember, everybody was speaking the Hebrew. They were speaking that one language until that Tower of Babel was built, and then the angels came down and seen it, and then they reported it back to the Most High. Most High said, go down and confound the languages. But the Most High put the spirit of Eva to keep the Hebrew. God. And so now when you read Genesis 14:13, the first time you can read the word Hebrew, Okay, go on up.
The book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 13. And there came one that had escaped and told Abraham the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner, and these were confederate with Abram.
Right. So now Abram the Hebrew. Con? So Abraham, we know his name is turned to Abraham, direct descendant from Shem, from Eva, Con, direct descendant. I think Abraham was what, 6 generations from Eber? I believe. Con? Something like that. Direct descendant. So I said Abram the Hebrew. Con? Now, so Abraham is a Hebrew, and Hebrew coming from the word Eba, or Ibar in Hebrew. Hebrew means from the past. A Hebrew is one who belongs to the family of Eba. Con? All right? And we read Genesis 14:13. All right? So now, but now wait a minute. There's another one that comes out. Who came out of Abraham? Genesis, I think it's 17, right? Genesis 17. And
verse 19.
Yeah, I guess we can go with 19. We'll go with 19. I don't make it too long. Go with 19 real quick.
Yeah, I will send Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael... So
the Most High is stating here that he's going to establish his covenant with Isaac. Come? Now, he also, of course, had Ishmael, which we will read the 20th verse.
And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation.
Now, okay, so Abraham had Ishmael through Ishmael's mother, Hagar. Come. Ishmael today are the Arabs. Come. Ishmael today are the Arabs. And we know, of course, Isaac. Okay. Isaac, of course, direct descent of being an Israelite, being a Hebrew, But is Ishmael a Hebrew?
Yes.
He is. Oh, wait a minute. Ishmael is a Hebrew. The Arabs are from the Hebrew family, from the Hebrew family, Even though they speak Arabic, the Arabs speak Arabic today, they are the Ishmaelites of today, Okay? So they are a Hebrew family. Are they Shemitic? Yes. The Arabs are a Shemitic family too. But they are direct descendant from Shem through Abraham. Now, you didn't read that Ishmael is the 5 families the 5 sons that came out of Shem. You don't read Ishmael there. But they are direct descent, genealogical line descent coming from Shem through Abraham. So they're Shemitic too. So you got to add Ishmael onto that. Also, you got to add the Arabs onto that too. Okay.
Who are the Arabs to that?
Who are the Arabs? The Arabs are out of Ishmael.
Are they down in Sudan? Or are they up in Arabia?
They mostly dwell in Arabia. Okay. Now remember the Ishmaelites. The original Ishmaelites, the Arabs, are dark. They're just as dark as we are. You get a lot of them today in the area of Kuwait. They wear turbans and stuff. You go to Kuwait, you see a lot of dark Arabs, the Ishmaelites. Now, them light-skinned looking ones, those are Greek babies, a lot of them. A lot of those are Greek babies.
Alexander the Great's king.
Alexander the Great, yeah.
I have a map of it in my phone.
Yeah. Those are Greek babies. But the real ones you'll see like in the area of Kuwait, Yemen,
Where he pushed them out.
United Arab Emirates. You'll see a lot of them. You don't see them on the news that much. You'll see a lot of Edomite babies. Okay?
In Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia. Right. Okay? So, that's Ishmael. So Ishmael is from the line of Shem. They're Shemitic, but they're from the line of Eva also through Abraham.
You want me to read 21?
Yes, come.
But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this time in the next year. And he left off taking with him, and Yahweh went up from Abraham.
Right. See, the Most High said, but I will establish my covenant with Isaac.
With Isaac. That's
So
important.
even though just because you're a Shemitic family don't make you the chosen, just because you come out of Abraham don't make you the chosen, which leads us to Romans 9, right? It automatically leads you to there, right? Yeah, that's true. Because just because you come out of Abraham doesn't make you, because the Most High said Abraham. Your name is not Abraham no more, Abram no more, it's what? Abraham, the father of what?
Many nations.
Many nations. So many nations would come out of Abraham, come?
Come.
Different nations did come out of Shem, come? But it don't make you the chosen. Understand? Now, Kanye West and they don't understand that, but Esau is not the chosen. Just because he comes out of Abraham, he does come out of Isaac, come? But he's not the chosen. Okay? He's not the chosen. All right? And Esau is from the Hebrew family, come? But he's not the chosen. Okay, read that. Where you at? Tell me that.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 3. For I wish that myself were cursed from Yahushua, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
This is Paul speaking, right? In the spirit. So Paul is saying, I wish myself could be accursed from Yahushua for my brethren, my kinsmen. Why he say according to the flesh? I mean, according to seed.
Because it's not talking about no spiritual
It's not
Israel.
about no Israel, right.
The church trying to teach some spiritual Israel false doctrine.
Right. It's according to your seed. Your seed. Okay, going up.
Who are Israelites?
Well, what?
Israelites.
The Israelites. Go on.
To whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of Yahweh, and the promises, who are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Yahushua came.
So that means the other nations have no part in that. See, it's one of the things Yahushua named.
Right.
The promises, the giving of the law, right? And everything, the adoption belongs to us. Everything belongs to Israel. And it's whom, as concerning the flesh, meaning the seed again, right? Come? Right? Because you come through your father's seed.
That's right.
According to the flesh. So, all the other nations, they don't take part in that. The promises are given to Israel.
That's right.
The other nations, they don't have the promise. So Esau may claim he's a Jew, he's an Israelite, but he doesn't have the promise. The Arabs may claim, okay, that they come from Abraham, and they do. See, they're right on that. When they say that, you cannot say that they're wrong. Right, come?
Come.
But then you got to go to the scriptures.
They don't hold the covenant.
Right, they don't have the covenant's not with them. Come? Okay, go ahead, Doc.
Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Yahushua
The only
came.
reason why Yahushua came is for the redemption of Israel. That's the only reason why Yahushua is coming back to bring salvation and redemption to the nation of Israel, not the other nations. Come? That's what it's saying. Go ahead.
Who is over all, God bless forever.
Okay.
Amen.
Go ahead.
Not as though the word of Yahweh have taken none effect.
The word of the Most High does take effect, and it will take effect. Going up.
For they are not all Israel which are of Israel.
How about that? They come out of Abraham. Come.
Right.
They come out of Abraham. They come out of Isaac, and we come out, and we the Israelites come out of Jacob. Okay, so just because you say you come out of Abraham or you come out of Isaac, come, they're not all of the seed of Israel. Come, going up.
Verse 7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham.
How about that? See, the Ishmaelites.
There it is.
That's it. The Ishmaelites, Esau. So, but Esau is trying to make that claim, but Esau's a thief.
God.
See, he stole another man's nationality. So that's where he went off from the get-go. He's a thief. Now, the Ishmaelites, they're saying, well, we're from the seed of Abraham, but you're right on that. But you always got to go back to the covenant.
God.
Right? Who was the promises given to? Going up.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac.
But in who?
In Isaac shall thy seed be called.
There you go, in Isaac. Now, did Esau come out of Isaac?
No.
Khan. Yeah, he did.
He did.
Right.
He did come out of Isaac. He came out of Isaac.
He sold his birthright.
Okay. But he didn't come out of Jacob.
Khan.
Okay.
That's right.
He didn't come out of Jacob. Right? So therefore he's not the chosen. Understand? He's not the chosen. Okay, go ahead, Alex.
That is they which are the children of the flesh. These are not the children of Yahweh, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
And the children of promise are counted as
for
the seed.
Right.
See?
Con.
Esau is not of the promise. Con? Because the promises were given to Israel. That's why you got to go back up further when we just read. Con?
Con.
Right.
That's how you gotta read the scripture. Sometimes you gotta go back. Right?
Con.
And so now read that, go back again. You read, what's that? The third verse? 9 and
For I wish that myself were accursed from Yahweh Shai for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites.
See? So he makes a clear distinction there, right? They can only be Israel, which came out of Jacob. Come? Well, Esau came out of Isaac, but he didn't come out of Jacob.
Right.
This is why Paul's making it clear who the Most High is dealing with.
Playing upon tables.
Making it clear. So you Edomites run around talking about, you're a Jew and all that. Yeah, you came out of Isaac, but you're not Israelite. And they also are Hebrew. Are they Hebrews?
Yes.
They're Hebrews.
Khan.
They are, but they're not Israel. So if you get an Edomite to come up to you while you're speaking or whatever, and they try to say this is what you got to bring out. Right?
Come.
You have to bring it out. Or if an Arab come to you and try to say, we're chosen too, well, you got to bring it out. These scriptures, come. Go ahead, Al.
Not as though the word of Yahweh have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all the children. But in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is they which are the children of the flesh. These are not the children of Yahweh, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
Mm-hmm. The children of the promise are counted for what?
The seed.
The seed which come out of Jacob. Come.
For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived.
Not only this, see? Not only this, but Rebekah. See? Rebekah. Come? Because Sarah, right? Because Esau can make the claim that he came out of Isaac. He did. Okay? He did. But not out of Rebekah. Come? Well, yeah, Rebekah, he came out of Rebekah, but still not of the seed of Jacob. Come? Not in the seed of Jacob.
Of Isaac.
Right. Okay? Because Rebekah had the twins. Come?
Got a precept?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Galatians chapter 4.
That's where I was going next.
Yeah.
24.
Read that. Read just 28.
Bring that back.
I was just going to read 28.
Oh, man.
All right. Now we, brethren, as Isaac was, are the children of promise. So Isaac was the children of promise.
Start 24.
Start 24 when we go there? Okay, let me start there. The book of Galatians chapter 4, verse 24. which things are an allegory, for these are the two covenants, the one from Mount Sinai, which gendereth to bondage, which is Agar. For this Agar is Mount Sinai in Arabia.
And that Agar, that represents Hagar.
Hagar, yeah. And the real Mount Sinai, so you can understand, is in Arabia. That's the real Mount Sinai. The fake one they got over there in Egypt or whatever, that's not Mount Sinai. Okay, the real one is in Saudi Arabia. All right, go ahead.
And answereth to Jerusalem, which now is and is in bondage with her children. But Jerusalem, verse 26, but Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all.
Right, the mother of us all is free, because the Most High is dealing with that seed. The promises were given to Israel. That means it's free. It's given to Israel.
The free seed represents Sarah.
Right.
Verse 27, for it is written, rejoice, thou barren, thou bearest not. Break forth and cry, that thou travailest not. For the desolate hath many more children than she which hath an husband. Now we, brethren, as Isaac was, are the children of promise.
That's right.
So that's us.
Children of promise.
Right.
Esau doesn't fit that.
He's not, right. His line drops off.
He came out of Isaac. He's not the children of promise.
Which is Jacob.
Yeah. Jacob is the children of promise. Israel. Remember,
Israel.
Jacob's name is turned to Israel. He's a prince of power.
Right.
That's the children of promise.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Esau is considered a wild olive tree just grafted in, because we sinned. So the Most High grafted him in, and he is grafted in. You see, the rulership is his now. He's got all nationality, claiming the riches of the earth, got all land. He's grafted in for a time.
But he's boasted against the natural branches.
Right. And which he did, which he's doing. Boasting against us. He got the rulership, he got everything, got the riches, that's why in Romans 11 it tells you, when Israel fell, the Gentiles got the riches of the world.
And he's fulfilling prophecy in the book of Genesis.
He's fulfilling prophecy,
You shall live by the sword.
He's fulfilling prophecy. Understand? So that's a good scripture there too.
Very nice.
Yes. Okay. So the Most High's promises is everything. Because the Most High don't forget none of his promises. So the promise that he made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the promise that he made to Abraham that he's going to bring us back. Remember, Abraham went from the Ur of Chaldees, and he traveled what they call a fertile crescent. That's what they call it today, the fertile crescent. All right? About 800 miles from Ur of Chaldees all the way to the land of Canaan. Israel. 800-something miles off to travel. Can you go 800 miles walking? You know, he had his horses and everything, but still, that's 800 miles, right? And when he finally made it, the Most High promised him, this is the land I'm going to give your seed. The land of Canaan. Okay? So, was that it up? You want to bring up?
No, that's it.
That was it on that, right?
Yes. That's also faith without works are dead.
Yeah.
You have to have faith to walk 800 miles.
Right. You have to have faith. That's some faith, right?
Yeah.
And this last one, Romans 11.
There it is, yep.
Romans 11.
1-5, maybe.
I say then, have Yahweh cast away his people? Yahweh forbid.
That means no. Most High forbid means no, he hasn't cast away his people.
For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham.
Seed.
Of the tribe of Benjamin.
And what does seed mean? According to the flesh. Romans 9. According to the flesh. That's what seed means. Go on.
God hath not cast away his people.
No, he hasn't. Go on.
Which he foreknew, what the scripture saith of Elias, how he maketh intercession to Yahweh against Israel, saying, Yahweh, they have killed my prophets, and dig down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. But what saith the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal.
And that's us today. Come.
So
even though Elijah thought he was the only prophet left, this is during the time of Jezebel. Jezebel killed all the prophets. And Elijah ran into a cave. Elijah needed the birds to feed him. He was so hungry, the birds came and fed him. The Most High, the birds feed him, right? But he said, Elijah, be quiet, man. I got 7,000 prophets. They haven't bowed down. Okay, so who you think you are? You're the only one left. So even today, those 7,000 prophets are still around. Come. They're not going to bow down to idolatry, right? To philosophy, to holidays. They're not going to bow down. They're not going to do it. 7,000 being the Most High got his completion. The Most High got his prophets out. And some of these prophets now are not even woke up yet. Kyrie Irving could be one. You don't know. You don't know, right? They're not woke up yet. But in time, they're going to be woke up. Some of us are woke up. But there's some that's still out there. Don't worry about it, man. Okay? There's no way that Esau can kill off all the prophets. He tried to kill off all the prophets. That's what the abortion was about. The abortion was about killing off the leaders, the prophets coming back. Just like Barak tried to kill Yahushua before he came to his mother's womb. The Pharaoh of Egypt tried to do the same thing. Remember, they tried to get Moses before he came to the earth. That's what all that was about. Right?
Paul's life is a similar to those other brothers you talked about coming back in. So
the same thing today. You have Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, that demon was in her to try to kill the children of Israel even in the womb. And they're still doing it.
Not even just the heathen. You got representatives of our own nation who trying to enforce this. You know, what's that chick, Lisa Blunt Rochester? She was on the Force magazine thing. She was speaking about how abortion is helping the so-called black community. But you running for office and you trying to go to Washington, that's what you trying to enforce. And then you got our coon people, and they trying to push Democrat and go vote Democrat and want to be behind her and Joe Biden. And even if you look at her political ad, she don't even have hardly no black people in her political ad. She got the other people up in the political ad, but you a person for the people. That's what you promote. You the person for the people. But you want abortion to be stable within the black community. And then she even had people come up and speak was supposed to be black people. And I was like, y'all people don't represent us. You know what I mean? You want to kill the prophet.
Read very quick. You didn't say Romans 11:11.
Go ahead.
Let's go down to 11 first, real quick.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles.
See, so through our fall, salvation is come to, and they're in their salvation now. So what does salvation mean here? This means rulership. Come.
For to provoke them to jealousy.
To provoke us to jealousy.
That's right.
Because we sinned against the Most High. So the Most High said, okay, I'm going to make you jealous now. Since the Most High said he's a jealous power, and we made him jealous by going into idolatry, now he reversed it and made us jealous by putting us on the bottom and the Gentile nation is on top of it. Going up.
Verse 12. Now if the fall of them be the riches of the world.
Our fall was the riches of the whole earth. But it show you how wealthy we were and how rich we were, right? Going up.
And the diminishing of them, the riches of the Gentiles.
Diminishing was their riches. Go on.
How much more their fullness.
How much more their fullness. Okay, so they're at the height of their riches and wealth and everything in the earth. So the only other place to go is down. And remember, until the time that the Gentiles be fulfilled. So we're going to be in our captivity, Luke 21:24, until the time that the Gentiles be fulfilled. Then they're going to come down. And you have to end of that fulfillment. Okay, a little while longer, you have to end of that fulfillment. Okay, they're coming down. Going up.
Verse 13. For I speak to you Gentiles, and as much as I am the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify mine office.
Because Paul was an apostle to the Gentiles also. Not only to Israel, but also to the Gentiles. Okay, going up.
If by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh.
You got the word flesh again, right? Meaning seed. When we just read in that first verse, Paul said, I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. Okay? My seed. Emulation here means jealousy. I may provoke to jealousy them which are my flesh. See, Paul understood. That's like we got to do when we get out there, right? And speak. We got to provoke our people to jealousy so they can see that they are the Israelites.
That's right.
But they can understand it. Okay? Go ahead up.
And might save some of them.
So I might save some, because not all people are going to be saved, right? Some of them. Okay, going up.
For if the casting away of them be the reconciling of the world.
Some of our people got to be cast away, meaning put to death, so that the remnant can be reconciled.
God.
There's got to be a sacrifice, right?
Con.
There's a sacrifice in everything. Right? Everything Most High do is a sacrifice. Okay, and we know Most High said 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
Right.
Okay, going up.
What shall the receiving of them be but life from the dead?
Right, so it's going to be life from the dead for us. Meaning the understanding of our nationality, our identity, our language, our land. That's life from the dead, huh? And so now Kyrie Irving and them is waking up from the dead.
Con.
It didn't matter how much money they had, right? They're waking up from the dead, huh? The money didn't do it for them. I think that's what Kanye West understanding that said, the money don't do it for me.
Right.
He just did, I'm a billionaire, but I'm still searching.
Right.
I'm still gaining knowledge and wisdom of life. I got everything, but have nothing. So what is a man if he gained the whole world just to lose his own soul?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Kanye is realizing now, and Kyrie Irving too, and the rest of them. They're realizing that. So I don't want to go too far. That's it on that.
Hold on, let me play a snippet of his interview.
Yeah. But I hope you got something out of that.
Just from the clubhouse.
No, I'm talking about Kanye's.
Yeah.
Kanye's interview?
Yeah.
Or the one he's in the car?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring out on that about Elam, the 5 sons of Shem,
Con.
and go into it a little bit deeper. So 5 sons of Shem, and then you have to add Ishmael.
Ishmael. Con.
Got it? Wait, technically you got to add Esau. Come. Come. So that would make it really about 7. Right? 7 Shemitic families. Come.
Con.
Which is 7 is like completion. So about 7 Shemitic families. And we know Israel is already included in that because Israel is the father of what? All things.
He took down the video.
Huh?
He took down the video. He took down the video.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Whose interview was it?
Kanye, when he was talking about they can't do nothing to him.
To him.
Wow. I seen that this week.
That's when he said Michael Jordan's father. And
Yeah, the sacrifices,
I know I
yeah.
can find it, though.
Yeah.
Because other people posted it.
All right.
The original place where it was posted, they took it down.
Con.
All right,
Let's close on out.
Yeah, you
Ready?
can close it out. All right, all praise to Yahweh. Shalom, Kwam Yashalom.
Kwam Yashalom.
Shalom.
Kwam Yashalom.
All right, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom.